Hey, great day. Welcome to the House of Cons. I'm Black Jack Shalom. And it's Saturday, August 2nd, 2023, man. We got a good show lined up. Managa, feathers up. You know what I'm saying? Tribe up. Put your shields up, Managa. Title of the show is The Last quote-unquote Black King of America, Managa. The last cons, Managa. The last real cons, Managa. And we're going to talk about it. I hope everybody doing good. Hit me up in the chat. Let me know where you at. Hey, salute to the chat. Salute the Bronze Flat Power God. Salute to George Witcher III. Salute to 203 Low Gang. Let me see who else in the chat. Salute to 12 Gates in the house. Salute to Earn Joy and Tribe Book. Yeah, and we rocking out on the Shabbat, Managa, you know what I'm saying? I hope everybody's feeling good. I hope your family's feeling good, you know what I'm saying? I hope everybody healthy and everybody doing great, Managa. We talking about the last kings. I should have put the last kings and queens of America, but I titled it The Last King of America, The Last Con, Managa. And we're going to look back at the thumbnail from a third eye point of view, not a bird eye point of view. Salute. And we see the cons, the king and his queen, Managa, on the thumbnail. He got his crown on. Papa got his crown on and mama sitting down to his side. They say behind every strong Naga is a strong niggeress. Right? Salute, tribe up. It's clearly a strong Naga. Strong negus, Managa. Strong cons, Managa. And I know everybody probably wondering who this is, Managa. I know if you ain't never seen this picture before, we're gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure everybody aware. We always try to bring something new, something refreshing over here in the tribe. You know what I'm saying? For the tribe and the House of Cons is how we rock. And man, I appreciate everybody that's been supporting the channel. And you know, and I appreciate all the new subscribers, everybody that's been liking the video. I appreciate all the members, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know that mean a lot to even get support, because not everybody can get support on these platforms. So I appreciate all the support that we get over here at the House of Cons. And we talking about the last king, the last black, so-called black king of America, the last cons, Managa. And we looking at them. We looking at two of them. And we gonna talk about who they is. Y'all know I got receipts all the time. I don't just be talking. But before we get into these last kings of America, Managa, we're gonna look at some more history, because those are the last black kings of America, the last black king, queen of America, right? But there was plenty more. This is, after all, this is the stronghold of the Nagas. And before we even talk about the last black king, queen of America, we done talked about plenty already, and we gonna review the ones we done talked about, and there's plenty more to come. So before we talk about the last black king and queen of America, let's talk about some of the previous ones, like Gaspar Inca, Managa. You know, they want to try to call him an African, but his last name is Inca, Managa. His last name is Inca, just like let's pull this up real quick and jump back. My computer been acting slow, man. I don't know, they got a hijack on me today. I don't know what's going on. All right, let me put the Inca Kings. I'm finna make something clear. When we talking Gaspar Inca, we ain't talking about no African. We talking about Incas, Managa. Let me get a better one where we can see. This one might be clear. Let's see. Yeah. When we talk about Gaspar Inca, the Y-N-G-A, we're not talking African, Managa. We talking Incas. So when we talking Gaspar Inca, no matter what Wikipedia try to tell us, we know we talking to Inca. We're not talking to African. Gaspar Inca, Managa. Get it? Not Gaspar Yanga. Gaspar Inca, Managa. Inca. Let's get this clear. Let's talk about it. Like I say, title is hey, Phyllis Brown in the house, tribe but salute. The title is the last black king and queen of America, right? But like I say, that wasn't the first and ain't gonna be the last. That's the last that they know of. But we gonna review the ones we already done spoke on before we even dig into the last. Like Gaspar Inca, my naga. And they always talking about these nagas starting maroon colonies up in the mountains. I wonder why, up in the Palenque, my naga. They always saying he started San Lorenzo de los Negros, right? They call him an Afro-Mexican when he's an indigenous Mexican. He's just an Inca, my naga. He's an Inca. You know, we talked about Gaspar Inca. Veracruz, Mexico. You know, it's funny about Veracruz, Mexico. This the funny thing about Veracruz, Mexico. They talking about he led a maroon colony. This man was an Inca, right? And they always saying that they call him the first liberator of America. We did a stream on him. You know what I'm saying? National hero of Mexico, indigenous Mexico, my naga. And he's talking about this early life. Yanga, aka Anka, my naga, was said to be a brand people. He was said to be. They said, right? Who said? Colonizer. Who said? Who said it? And they say he was a member of the royal family of Gabon. They all see this is a thing we always noticing. They always saying these knockers was members of a royal family from somewhere in Africa. If it was so when he escaped and did his thing, why did he go back to Gabon? If he knew where he was from, if he knew he was part of a royal family, why didn't his royal people from Gabon come and get him? This is made up. That's why he's clearly an Inca. They say Inca's rebellion, not Yanga's rebellion. The Incas, they added the A. Inca rebellion, my naga. Veracruz, Mexico, right where the Incas would be, my naga. Connect the dots, my naga. Don't be stupid. According to the historian, Inca fled his enslaved in approximately 1570 and took refuge close to what is now the city of Cordoba, leading a group of Maroons, a group of indigenous Nagas, Indians, Managa Indios, that gradually grew in number. Yeah, they grew in number. Although there is no full knowledge of how their movement developed. Of course you don't know. By 1609, the group included more than 500 men. Consequently, rumors of a large-scale revolt were not long coming. All right. Let's see. Let's go down and tell you where they went up in the mountains, because I want to make some points out about all this. Let's tell you about they went up in the mountains and they fought from the mountains, because it's important to speak about them fighting from the mountains to connect some dots on some other stuff. This is why. And I just want to point that out, and we're going to move on because we got several more to cover before we cover the main topic. Let's see. Legacy. Well, let me go back up out of early life. Let me see. Let me just go back to the top. See where we at. Early life, Yanga's rebellion, Anka's rebellion. Warnings increased, responding only by ordering, but the danger became evident. Anka's Maroons not only plundered the haciendas and farms within their reach. In order to survive, they also attacked the viceroyalty. These attacks were worrisome for the authorities, as throughout the colonial period, news spread that the indigenous Khans intended to kill the inhabitants of the capital and crown one of their own, Inca leading the viceroy to take extreme measures against the rebels. These years later, rumor would come that many blacks who had defeated had been dismembered and nailed to pieces. All right. Long story short, they fought from the mountains, and even said, like he started San Lorenzo de Lorenzos. That was in Mexico, but it was up in the mountains. He always fought from the Palenques, and they tell you the same story about all these so-called Maroons, which is really just indigenous Khans, indigenous Negroes, Indios. And what we gotta understand when he's talking all these indigenous Nagas in Veracruz, Mexico, remember the 1619 story. Let's bring that up real quick to connect that dot, because I'm gonna point something out that you might have missed. Alright. And I don't know, see, my computer is moving very slow. I had this good show lined up, the computer wanna act up. 1619. Let's put 1619 first so-called slave ship, right? Which you know is a lie, right? In 1619, say 20 to 30 so-called enslaved Africans, which we know was indigenous Americans, landed at Point Comfort today at Fort Monroe in Hampton, Virginia, aboard the English privateer ship the White Lion in Virginia. These so-called Africans traded in exchange for supplies. Now look what they say they came from, though. Let's show you where they say the ship come from. The ship ain't come from Africa. The ship came from Veracruz, Mexico area. That's what's so funny. The Juan Bautista. It say exchange for supplies, additional slave Africans, all these hijacked lives in Virginia, Hampton statues, no other reason. Africa's research. All right. Let me type it in another way just to connect this dot before we move on. I'm gonna put 1619 first slave ship from Veracruz, Mexico. See, they told you some hijacked lies. See, Virginia's first Africans to do a capture in a forced journey of 200 miles, so-called that, right? Where they were located on the slave ship San Juan Bautista. The San Juan Bautista sailed for Veracruz, Mexico. It came from Veracruz, Mexico to Virginia. It never came from Africa. It came from Veracruz, Mexico to Virginia. It didn't have no 350 slave Africans. They was taking Nagas from Mexico and Veracruz and bringing them to Virginia because they're doing it like the prison system. They take you out your area so you can't escape. They take you somewhere else and then they call you a new name now. They can't recategorize you. They say you Africans now. They brought these Nagas from Veracruz, Mexico. I just want to point that out while we're talking Gaspar Inca and all these kings and khans and queens of America. And they always fought up in the mountains. So even when he say San Lorenzo de los Negros, the city, the settlement they started. See, check this out. All right, one more time. Back to Google one more time. I like to use Google to shoot themselves in the foot. San Lorenzo de los Negros. I like the way that roll off the tongue, y'all. Look at that, they pull up Inca right away. San Lorenzo de los Negros, Mexico's first liberated city, commemorates its founding. Way up in the mountains, up in the Palenque, Managa. San Lorenzo de los Negros. And after the fall of the Aztec Empire, 1521, After the fall of the Aztecs, what a coinkydink. Rebelling through the Zapotecs and they slaves. The unconquered Zapotecs. Many Negro slaves fled. They always saying you fled to the Indians. How come the Negro slaves always know how to find the Zapotecs and find the Seminoles and all this other stuff? No, knock it's you. Or you can find them, but the Europeans colonized and they can't, and they so-called brought you there. Man, get out of here, man. These people went back to their people. From Florida to Brazil. Wait. I'm trying to find where they talking about up in the Palenque, Managa, because I want to make a point out about this being up in the mountains and fighting in the mountains. It's a common tactic of the indigenous people, Managa. Escapee in Mexico in 3 decades. And he fired the Spanish to defeat him, although his visitors had become owners of their freedom. All right, let me just type it in one more way, man. Then we gonna move on because I want to make this clear. I just gotta blatantly put it in. For some reason, I can't find it right now. All right, guys, I'm gonna put Gaspar Inca. Fight from mountains. Gaspar Inca and Black Cement. The battle came to head at the Rio Blanco and resulted in major loss on both sides by Citizen Viceroy. I might click on that one. Let me see. Along with a group of followers escaped, fled to the mountainous regions near Cardona. See, the mountains, they always fled to the mountains. Managa. I ain't even do that. Hijack computer. They always fled to the mountains, Managa. And fought from the mountains, the stronghold in the mountains, and they whooped their ass from the mountains, and they always win. And they always get them, they make them bow down from the mountains, Managa. Fled to the mountainous regions. It's biblical, Managa, spiritual, Managa. Israelite flow, Managa. Fighting from the Palenque, Managa. Fled to the mountainous regions near Cordoba and established a settlement up in the mountains, up in the high mountains. Shalom, Managa, understand what you interpret and what you reading. Let's move on. I just want to point that out. I want to point out all this 1619 slavery, and that damn shit came from Veracruz and they ain't even come from Africa. They call the Nagas Africans. Man, let's move on. Let's move on, because I can go on and on. Joseph Shatoya, another black king of the Americas we already spoke on, also known as Joseph Satoya, the so-called Garifuna, the Caribs. The Garifuna, they was Caribs, Managa, and Saint Vincent. Yeah, Joseph Satoya, Saint Vincent, the Grenadines. He whooped their ass, and guess where they went to? The mountains. They made a Maroon Treaty, called a Maroon Treaty in Jamaica and all this. They say in 1710 the population rebelled, led by Shatoya. The first Carib War forced the British to sign a treaty with them in 1773. This was the first time Britain had been forced to sign an accord with non-white people, Managa, with non-whites. In accord with non-white people in the Caribbean since the Maroon Treaty of Jamaica. And since the Jamaicans they ain't had to sign a treaty since the Jamaicans made them buy down in 1739. And guess where they fought from? The mountains, Managa. They say the local population, they pull up where they fighting from the mountains. That's what we know he a Khan, we know he a king. Where you fighting from the mountains at? I type it in then. Y'all don't want to give it to me, I take it. Shatoya fighting from the mountains, just like Anchor was. I don't feel like reading all the way through it. We done read it before already. We done did live streams on this. Fighting from the mountain. These Nagas supposed to be Africans, but they always fleeing and getting loose and fighting from the mountains and making them bow down. As revolution consumed France and Haiti, a war broke out in the St. Vincent between the island's indigenous inhabitants. See, indigenous, Managa, ain't no Africans. Joseph Shatoya died in battle. And put cowards in the first national hero during fighting between the two imperial powers. The Naga was fighting from the mountains, Managa. Let me go back to Wikipedia. The Naga was fighting from the mountains, Managa. I'm gonna have to pull through it just to point it out again, because this is important. History. They rebelled. They whooped Britain ass, made them sign a treaty. And they signed. Shatoya divided the island with his brother Duval, who was another chief. Duval had a Guadalupan lieutenant. Let me see. They fought from the mountains, man. Let me pull up the Carib War, man. Let me just pull up the Carib War, man. Because if it's war, we pulling out them bows, Managa. Just to show y'all, man. They fought from the mountains, Managa. They fled and fought the first Carib War. Background. Let me go back. We're gonna skip the background. We know the background. Conflict, initial stage. Relations between the British and Garifuna, the Caribs, broke down in the 17th when a survey party supported by the 32nd Regiment was taken hostage. Yeah, the Nagas took them hostage. They said, "What y'all trying to do, a census around here?" Under Joseph Shatoya made contact with the French government in Martinique. See, that's what that picture is when you see Shatoya and all them Nagas meeting up with the British, the Redcoats. British offensive. Frustrated by the deadlock in setting governor, he answered by the colonial concerns, something. All right, let's move on. Let's get to the fight, my lord. The invasion began in September, with the main force pushing north from Kingstown and supported by additional beach landings further up the coast, including, despite their large number of disease in the hot and wet weather on the island, led to many soldiers dying shortly after arrival. Alright, cessation of hostilities. They fought from the mountains, Managa. I can keep making the point. We already showed you two fighting from the mountains, but let's keep moving. I don't want to get caught up. Then we got the Naga. Y'all remember this other Khan, right? We did a live on this one. The Naga Emperor of Nicaragua. Man, Naga Khans all over America. Bronze Flat Power God got the fire emojis up in the chat. Hey, Naga Khans is all over America. All over. Down in Jamaica, down in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, down over there in Veracruz, Mexico. And then the show for the day, we talking about the last cons of America, the last black king and queen of America. We gonna get in them last. We ain't even touched them yet. But y'all remember the Naga Emperor of Nicaragua? Y'all remember this one? Oh man, I remember this old hijack page here too. If you want to shrink it down and say, nah, don't show on this, black. Y'all remember the Naga Emperor of Nicaragua? We did the show on this one. All right. Don't shrink it down on me. Don't try to hide it. The Naga Emperor of Nicaragua, sitting on some Jamaican rum. Yeah, y'all remember this one? We talked about this one. You know, they got little jokes and they got stuff, but it's a lot of truth in what they're showing you, my nigga. You know, you think these people spend money on making stuff like this? A racist political cartoon satirizing the so-called fictitious Naga Emperor of Nicaragua. It ain't fictitious. The Emperor of Nicaragua has always been a Naga. What the hell are you talking about? Fictitious. You know, yeah, we know y'all snickling and grinning. This ain't no fictitious. This was in 1851, of course. Another king. Another con, right? They talking about the last con, the last kings. Man, it was plenty. Y'all remember Miguel de Barria? We did this not long ago. The black con of Venezuela, the king of Venezuela, a Naga named Miguel de Barria. Picture here with his sword and his crown. Cut your ass up or cut your ass down. Miguel de Barria. And where did Miguel fight from? Let's see. I bet it was the mountains. I bet they say he was he reigned. They formerly enslaved in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and reigned as the king of Venezuela, modern day state of Lara, Venezuela. Look, they gonna say he came from royalty in Africa. Watch, we did a live on this one. Where they talking about he was a royal slave from Africa. They always talking about the Naga was a early life. Look at here, in 1517, Charles V authorized the capture and displacement of thousands of Africans, indigenous Americans, stop lying, doing diverses, into slavery to the Caribbean. Due to his desire for free labor, that they were slaving all them indigenous Caribs and all this shit, going to war with them, stop lying about this Africa stuff. In the process, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what they talking about. De Barria. They gonna call this man African. They gonna say he came from an African royal family. Watch, man, this stupid ass shit. They tell the same story. Look at here. Hold on. Speculation about a noble ascendancy has been argued by some authors. See, they always talking about he descended from some kings and queens in Africa. Naga, you was the king right here. If he descended from some kings and queens of Africa, why he ain't go back there? Kingdom of Barria. Let me see. What these niggas was fighting from the mountain, man. They showing. Let me just type it in, man. We just did a live on this. I ain't gonna read all the way through this because I gotta get to the main show. But I'm gonna just go ahead and type it in. Miguel de Barria fighting from the mountains. Fighting from the mountains, my nigga. It's a reason why I keep showing y'all this. And I'm gonna get to that too. Fighting from the mountain. They always call it a maroon colony, and they say they was fighting from the mountains. They say when the Spanish foreman tried to punish him, Miguel resisted, grabbing his sword from the foreman and fighting him. See, look at that. The first black king of Venezuela. After taking the sword, Miguel was able to fight off the foreman and escape into the Cordillera de Meridia mountains. He always fighting in the mountains, right? In the Palenque, my naga, in the mountains. What's up in these mountains? And if these nagas from Africa, why in the hell is they always running to the mountains, fighting and winning, and making another stronghold of the naga and getting back to the tribe? They talking about they finding Indians all the time. They ran and found the Seminoles. They ran and found the Aztecs and the Zapotecs. Naga, please. These is the Aztecs, Zapotecs, and the Seminoles. Talking about a slave turned king. Let me type in, let me show you. They gonna claim he from a royal African family. They always do that too. These niggas always fighting from the mountain, and they always claim they from royal African lineage. This is funny because it's so stupid, from royal African family. Let me watch this. Watch this, man. These people, so Miguel was the first and only king of African. How he was the first and only king? He wasn't even of African descent. He wasn't the first and only Naga king. This is fork tongue action here. The first and only king of Africa. It was never a king. There was never a king of African descent in Venezuela. It was indigenous Nagas. Let me see. What they put talking about? Look. Historians have speculated about him being of African royal ancestry. They always got the same story over and over. Man, y'all could at least make a new story, man. Y'all gonna tell the same story. Y'all said Joseph Chitoya was from a royal family in Africa. Y'all said Gaspar Inca was from a royal family in Africa. Y'all said all these Nagas, and these Nagas always escape and go to the mountains and fight y'all and win and start a Naga towns. De los Renzos, Naga de los Renzos. Pointing this out for a reason. Fighting from the mountains and always claiming they from a royal family in Africa. This is pathetic. Very stupid. Don't forget Nanny. Don't forget Queen Nanny, my Naga. All these cons in America, man, they crazy. Talking about the first and last. They out they mind. Nanny of the Maroons, Queen Nanny, Granny Nanny, was the 18th century leader, my Naga. A queen of the Jamaican Maroons, my Naga. She was the queen, my Naga. Goof ass people, man. They gonna say she was from a royal family, I guess. And guess what they gonna say? Let's just skip all the BS. Let's see what Queen Nanny was fighting in the mountains. How come the fake $5 red man ain't never fighting in the mountains?
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Queen Nanny, warrior general, spiritual advisor, and some say Messiah to the Maroons. They say she was the Mexica, my Naga. Led her people from their base camp of Nanny Town in the rugged Blue Mountains. Always in the mountains, my Naga, in the Palenque. Once again, what is this? Naga code? What are these Nagas? The Naga throw a hat up in the mountain? Did the Naga get up in the mountains? I mean, somebody tell me. Did the Nagas get up in the mountains and pull one of these numbers? No, I'm just saying. Everybody going to the mountain and fighting. 1700, 1500, 16, it don't matter when. Nagas going to the mountain and fighting. It's indigenous Indios, my Naga. It's Americans, my Naga. Don't be stupid, my Naga. I know you ain't no dummy. I know you ain't no big dummy. I know these colonizers way dumber than you because they ain't think we was going to slow down and read it all. They stupid ass. Telling the same story. Fighting in the mountains in Jamaica. And she was fighting who she was with. Who was Queen Nanny with? Of course, Queen Nanny was with Cujo. Naga, they don't even want to show you Cujo's face. Cujo said, man, put me in the background. Let my woman run it. That's what Cujo said. Fighting up in the mountains. Cujo whooping ass. Cujo and King Cujo and Queen Nanny, my Naga. Let's keep it moving. We talking Jamaica. We done went from Veracruz, Mexico, St. Vincent the Grenadines, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Jamaica, and we can't forget Kamehameha, my Naga. I don't want to forget. No, we ain't go to that one yet. Hold on. We can't forget Kamehameha, my Naga. How could you forget Kamehameha, my Naga? And Lilio Kalani, my Naga, in Hawaii, my Naga. Salute, hey, salute to the real Nagas of Hawaii. Let the Most High deal with the fake. I see these people on the news talking about they jumping in the ocean. They don't look like us a lot of them, so I ain't worrying about them. Yeah, we can't forget Kamehameha, my Naga. King of the Sandwich Islands, my Naga. Hawaii, my Naga. King of Hawaii, 1795, my Naga. Yeah, and we know what they did to Captain Cook. They dealt with Captain Cook on the beach, my Naga. We know that. They ain't had to take him to the mountains. It's just another black Khan, another king and queen of the Americas, my Naga. Alright, so let's move on now. Let's get to the main show. Cause we just talking about the last so-called black king, queen of America. The last Khans. The last black king, queen of America, my Naga. Anybody know who this is? Hit me up in the chat. Quiet Storm Shine in the house. Salute, Tribe Buck. Just talking about the last Khans, my Naga. The so-called last Khans. They say this the last Khans, but my Naga, I look all around and I see Khans everywhere. My Naga, ain't no last Khans. These folks crazy, my Naga. These folks very retarded. They dumb, my Naga. These folks stupid. You big dummy. Let's talk about the last Khans, my Naga. Right now we're looking at Julio Pinedo of Bolivia, my Naga. We all the way up and down Bolivia, and we still in the stronghold of the Naga. Everywhere we go, Everywhere we go, Managa, the last king of America, Managa. And this was written somewhere, I guess, up in between 2012 and 2014. The only existing monarchy in the entire American continent survives on the Bolivian Andes. The last king and queen in America survived in the Bolivian Andes, Managa. The only existing monarchy in the entire American continent survives on the Bolivian Andes. This is the amazing story of Don Julio Pinedo, so-called Afro-Bolivian king. This indigenous Naga. Don't tell me he of a royal family from Africa. Don't tell me he went up and fighting in the mountains. Don't tell me no stupid ass story that we just read about everybody else. Afro-Bolivian. He is a direct descendant of the former Congolese king. Man, y'all gotta at least come up with a new story, man. Cause these same old lies, and you make it too easy for me to point this shit out. That's why y'all want to shadow ban me. That's why YouTube barely want to monetize my content. Cause I'm making a fool out of them. Talking about the truth. He's a direct descendant of the former Congolese king, Uchicho, right? Who came to America by error among the many slaves brought from Africa, man. Stop it, man. Stop. I can't even do it. Now I got the style. I now got a fresh style. Look at Papa, look at Mama. She got a Hebrew fringes on, Managa. This is not African. Don't look African to me, Managa. Look pretty Bolivian to me, Managa. Indigenous American, Managa. Mama got on hoop earrings. They got Pops crowned up. Alright, man. We're gonna go to Wikipedia, man. I'm gonna show y'all some pictures though before we go there. Look at these Nagas in the mountains, right? The Nagas in the mountains all the time. You can take a Naga out the mountain, but you can't take the mountain out of Naga. You old stupid mother. Old world buildings. Look at this. That's reminiscent of a castle, Managa. That's very old world. Very old world, Managa. That cross, you don't understand what that cross means. That cross is not Christianity, Managa. Stronghold of Naga, nappy-headed Naga. These are our relatives, Managa. This is family, Managa. It's American, Managa. Hey, he looked like this picture I seen. He looked like a guy I seen on this picture. Damn. He looked like I'm trying to remember. Matter of fact, let me do it like this. I'm probably gonna put it up. Let's see if we can put it up. It usually come up in this search. Let me see. He look like this Naga. Let's see if his picture pop up in this search. His picture always pop up if you type in Black Indian. A lot of people don't use this dude picture. I can't, and I know what the picture is. I just can't think of it right now. But he looked just like this Naga on the picture I seen. That we all seen. There you go. Boom. Damn, the striking resemblance, yeah. This was damn. Hold on, hijack. Go back, hijack. It say this was a Crow tribesman in 1873. Dang, he got a striking resemblance to that Naga right there. Let me know what page we was on. Let me go back. Damn, striking resemblance. Made me think about that Naga right away. Clearly a Tamara Khan. Clearly not an African. Fringes with his fringes on, Managa. Yeah, I'm just saying. Looks very similar. Stay in the loop. We in the loop. All right, let's go back out of this. Let's go to Wikipedia and read a little bit about Julio Pinedo. We know they're gonna try to say he descended from an African royal family and all this here. Julio Pinedo, born in 1942, is the ceremonial king of the so-called Afro-Brazilian community. He's the king of Bolivia, fool. 42 years after the death of the previous king, his grandfather, Bonifacio Pinedo, his position gained official recognition in 2007 when he was sworn in by the Perfect of La Paz. What? Perfect. Hey, check this out. Look at that coat of arms, Managa. This is dope. I gotta put this on the t-shirt. Look at the Naga with the hoop earrings on. Turmeric Khan's in the house, Managa. Salute. Tribe, but they cannot hide your history. Your ancestors keep sneaking in on them. They say, yeah, put the Naga with a hoop. Make sure you stick his hoop on. Make sure make sure you put the Naga. They say don't forget the Naga earrings. They say put his earrings on. If you don't put them on there, they say put the Naga hoops on, you dummy. You big dummy. They put it right in your face, Managa. They got a llama on that thing. Look at that. What is that? No, what kind of shit? That ain't no slave ship. You big dummy. Dope, right? You don't know what that cross for. That's not Christianity. You better get some understanding. Coat of arms of Julio Pinedo. And now got his own coat of arms. Pinedo. They want to claim this Naga is an African royalty family, man. Stop lying. What is that? His daddy, his grandfather was Bonifacio Pinedo. Bonifacio died in 1954, was the king of Bolivia. Oh, another Naga king, huh? They say they was from the Yungas regions. Well, up in the mountains, the Yungas regions in the mountains, huh? Let me guess. Run into the mountains, huh? Get this Middle Passage lies. Talking about he a prince from Congo. He's Julio Pinedo and was descended from Uchicho, a prince from the Congo kingdom. Lies. Uchicho is not even Congo. That's Turmeric Khan. Listen to the word Uchicho, Chichen Itza. Man, this man from Bolivia. Stop playing, you dumbass people, man. Uchicho, right? Uchicho then, man. These people so stupid. These people are very stupid. They just spew out 4-ton lies without look at Uchicho, Afro-Bolivian monarchy. The founding monarch, the founding king, the first king, Uchicho. Straight out of Bolivia, not out no Africa. Stop lying. Let's say the Afro-Brazilian ceremony recognized which does not interfere with the system of the presidential republic enforced within it. Man, they their own monarchy. They say stay out the fuck out the stronghold. Y'all signed the treaty long time ago. It is centered in Muradada, a village in the Yungas region of Bolivia. The monarch is treated as a customary leader. Talking about Afro. The powers of the Afro-Bolivian king are similar to those of a traditional king. Because he is the king. He ain't no African king. He's a traditional king. The components of this royal house are the descendants of an old African tribal monarchy that were brought to Bolivia as slaves. Same old story. Why they ain't go back to Congo and Senegalese region in? Why they ain't the royal family from over there come get them? And where is this royal family over there? Who are they? Don't exist. Who is the Yochicho family over there? They don't exist. You go over there to Congo or Senegalese talking about Uchicho, they looking at you like, fool, that ain't even a word over here. In the area of Los Yungas, Inca area. Man, these people be tongue and shit, man. Yungas, Incas, man. Get the picture, Managa. And what is now La Paz department, other slaves allegedly recognized. The other slaves even recognize him. They say other slaves said, we ain't Africans, we from over here too. They say they recognize him as a man of regal background. They're talking about a prince from an ancient kingdom of Congo. Alright. If other slaves recognize him as a prince from an ancient kingdom of Congo, if they recognize all this, why don't they recognize their old Congo language? Why didn't that get handed down and kept getting this story got passed down? Why didn't no African language survive in America? Huh? Answer that. You think the cracker colonizer was so strong that he gonna whoop the language out of your ancestors and ain't none of it gonna get passed down? Is you stupid? You big dummy. fake ass African stories, man. All these fake lies, man. Y'all better see through them, man. Y'all better see through the lies, man. We gonna keep coming, man. We gonna keep coming with this. It's more to come, man. We talking about the cons, my nigga. Con up, man. Hit the like, subscribe, share the video, man. If you ain't a member, man, become one. We got a members only live stream coming up, man. I would like to see you there, my nigga. Try, but hit the like button, subscribe, and we out.